Hello all, welcome back again to my channel. Before, just a few minutes ago, I did a live stream blog video on how to win a creative competition, basically with your writings. And I done a few little demonstrations on it, how to win a creative writing competition and tips. This video, which I'm not a drawer, warning, heads up, I can't draw worth of crap, but I did a little drawing demonstration on kind of the order that I feel is best to start out when you are just a newbie, first time writer, and wanting to get the feel of it and to get into it. This is what this blueprint's about. But first, most important right now of the topic is figuring out your title. And at times I struggle to figure out a title for my story. I kind of rush into it, so I need to take a few steps back and keep messing around, playing with words, and then find a story that's going to fit the title of the words that I've messed around and had to put together. So we're going to talk about the title, and we're going to do like a little title game. And what I want you all to do, I want you to participate in this on this very video. If you're not live, come back to it when you get a chance. If you take the time to view this, you can answer it in the comments below. Question number 1, and this is going to be an exercise for you all to do. You get out a notepad or a piece of paper and a pen, and you're going to write down in big letters in the middle of the page, on the middle of your page, write the word title. Underline it, skip a couple spaces, and then you're going to list a few. Let's say we're just going to list 3 for now. This is for newbie writers or anybody that's in writing that likes writing in general. Number 1, the question is going to be finding your title. You write that out. Repeat, finding your title. Put a question mark there. And you're going to be working on just this one little topic right now. You're going to skip another line and you're going to list all the titles you can think of what's your compassion, what you want to write about. List that title. If it's about a person you're writing about, list that person's name, for example. If it's just fantasy, make-believe, make up that name. And once you figure that out, don't do anything else until you figure that out. You write out the title, you skip a line, you list number 1, and the question of the title is going to be, what is your title going to be? What is the name of, or reword it, correction, what is the name of your title? That's your first question. And I'm going to do it right here for a second. I'm going to write it out. It's not going to be perfect. It's just a demonstration to help get you started, like for the newbies writer. And I'm going to do this too. Write it neat as you can. What is the name of your what? Title. And I put a question mark. That's the first question. And of course, the next one, you're going to have to find the answers for that. It might take a little while. Take your time with it. There's no rush on this. My answer is going to be, and this is just going to be an example. It's not even actually what I'm actually doing. It's just an example for the blueprint of this vlog video. So, if anyone's come in and has missed it, you can feel free to play back this video at the end of it, and you can start from there. Those is live, has been on since it started. You're familiar with what's going on. Say, for example, my answer for the title is going to be So like diaries. That's a good topic. So I have wrote pieces on a diary. Diaries. Okay. I wrote down the name of the topic's title. I underlined it. I skipped 2 lines. Y'all might only skip 1, but I skipped 2 lines. And I wrote the question out myself. What is the name of, instead of your, I have to say my title. But it, and I wrote answer below it. And then I skipped the line and I wrote the answer. My title is going to be called Diaries. Okay, once you figure out your title, what your title is going to be, you want to start thinking of words that you use with a diary. What does normally people use with a diary? What do they have to have? You can just buy a regular notebook paper, just regular notebook, 70 sheets. That can be something you write, or I could write my diary in. But I don't need a notebook tablet or another book or journal because I have one right here. This is actually my journal. I record my notes. I write down certain brands before I do my video vlogs, before I go live stream. I keep all that in this journal right here. This is where I'm answering, doing the same exercise that I want you all to participate in. So I got the word title down. I got my question written out. Number 1 question, what is the name of your title? Mine is diary. So what I'm about to do is I'm gonna list words that I have to have that's going to describe for my answer diary. So therefore, in other words, that makes sense. Your title is title, and you want to figure out what the title is going to be. I come up with the answer, which is diaries. So if you got that down for your title, what's the next step? The next step, let me find my pen. I think I just dropped it somewhere. Here it is. I had those moments where I misplaced where I put things at. The next step, which will be number 2, now you're going to have to write something that reflects on what your title is going to be about. That's where the plot 1 comes in, the next the plot 2, and then the plot 3, and so forth. That's in part of the blueprint as well. So, if my title is Diaries, I'm going to have to write something in the ordinary to diaries. So, I'm going to have to list a few things. I'm going to list a few things. Things I need to write about my diary. Which is number 1, a pen. Number 2, your journal or / you can buy just regular notebook. As long as it's blank and you can write on it. You can make a journal out of anything. So I got it listed. I'm going to need pens. This is like my materials before I start writing it. These are the materials. I'm going to need a pen, my journal. I got both of these. I have my pen. Show and tell, I have my journal. And I've done several videos about journals, how important it is to keep goals and routines and stuff like that in some of my other videos. Okay, I got my pen, I got my journal, and now I'm going to go down. The next part is going to be crucial. A lot of thinking, a lot of brainstorming that you have to do on this. Now I'm going to have to write about it. This is the story part, which will be labeled as plot 1 because it's going to be what? My story. I got the title, which is Diaries or Diary. Diary is more than 1, so it's diary. And I'm going to write a little something. Just give me a few minutes while you take the time and you doing your exercise. Don't copy no ones. It's got to be a new write, new thing for you. So let's see, plot 1. We don't want to get ahead, stick to where we're at, because if you rush through it, you're going to lose all your train of thought, and then everything's just going to get all jumbled up and it ain't going to make sense. So just stick with me here a minute. This ain't going to be a real long story. It's just going to be short and simple because it's a sample. It's an example. And I'll show you the blueprint once we do these little exercises in just a minute. So don't get lost in thinking, okay, this is supposed to be a blueprint vlog video. It still is, but we're doing something else along with it. It's an exercise along with it. Okay, I'm going to share mine with you all, what I just did. Don't look at the blueprint page because we're not talking about that yet. Okay, we're doing a little question exercise. It's like a little quiz, a little warm-up exercise. Okay. First of all, you had to list what? You had to figure out, you got to list title on your page, which is right here. Title. And then I put number 1. I wrote out the question. What is the name of your title? What's it going to be? Is yours going to be on sailboats? Is yours going to be on home remedies? Is yours going to be on how to blog? And you want to write something about blogging with a B? Or is it going to be on vlog and you want to write a little description on vlog, like what I'm doing now? Either way, you list it. You write your title. You put number 1. You write out the question of this warm-up little quiz that we're doing. And you figure out your title. If you already got it, that's good. Write it down. I got mine, so I'm going to share it. My title, I just figured it. I decided I want to just do a sample of it. It's called Diary. Number 2, I list some of the couple materials that I needed before I had to start writing it out, which is pen, which I showed you, my pen, and my journal, what I'm writing the exercise in now. Also, I've done some blueprints in here. I've only done 2. This is my second one. Ignore the sloppiness, how it's drawn out. Look at how I got it, the ideas in place. But anyway, back to our lesson. This is short. This is going to follow through the blueprint. You'll understand it once I go over it in a little bit. Plot 1. You have plots. You have settings in your stories. Plot 1 is the beginning of the flow of your words of your story. That's why I have plot 1. And this is what I wrote. Just out of my head. Not being great. It's not going to add into my work. This is just part of the blog video and the exercise that we're doing here. Plot 1, I wrote, I've kept many diaries growing up. I find them helpful. They keep me organized and balanced. That's all I wrote. I'm not writing a big whole story yet. I'm just getting a feel of the flow of my thoughts, words that I use, and it's listed as plot 1 because plot 1 is the beginning. You done got your title narrated. You done wrote the question out, and now you done come up with actual the title. Now you're doing the plot. You're writing it out to start off with. Okay? So, and when you get done with yours, I would like for you to share it down at the comments below at the end of this video. If you are live and you're viewing me live stream, you can comment through the live stream chat box over there. This is really fun. It's just something I thought of, and I think I'll do a lot more little quizzes, blog videos in the future. No certain date, no certain time. But as long as you keep clicking the bells on my videos, you won't miss them when they do arrive or more to come. Now, you seen that was a very short story. It wasn't long. It was short and simple. That's how you come up with plot 1. As you see with my title, as I told you, I named it Diary. So I'm basically, my story is going to be about a diary. I wrote 3 paragraphs, and it fits in with my title, What? Diary. What my title I want to be is called Diary. So the little short 3-paragraph fits into my title because that's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to come if I'm writing about, I skip a few lines and I decide to write something else that don't relate to what my title is, it's going to throw the readers off. You want your story to match your title. That's basically what this little quiz exercise is. Okay. Now, this is going to get tricky here. After you done figured out and wrote a few paragraphs from what's connected to your title, which is plot 1, you're going to need a plot 2. What does the plot 2 represent? Do y'all remember what I mentioned to this other video? You got a beginning, the middle of the story. What's going to happen when you're writing about that subject? What's going to happen with you writing about that diary? Or writing about that lost boy that got suspended from school 3 days. You might want to write about some troubled kid. You might want to write about your goals. You might want to write about your bucket list. If you have goals to complete this year and complete a bucket list, it's however you want to do it. The main thing is you want to stick to it and make sure it follows through the title. And your story's got to match your title. So now we're talking about plot 2. That's the middle of your story. You done wrote a few paragraphs about it. Okay, what's going to happen next? What's going to be the middle? What's the middle to the plot of the story? What's going to happen next? How you going to narrate that down? Say, like with my example I just did on the diary, okay, how am I going to explain from what I just wrote, how am I going to put that into a middle setting of plot 2 of my 3-paragraph story? You all know how to do that? Do you think you can do that with after you write part of your paragraph, your plot 1, you think you could match your plot 2 with your plot 1? That's basically what you're doing. You're going to match your title with the story, plot 1, plot 2, and plot 3. I'm not sure how many plots is, but this one's going to have 3 in it. Okay, now I'm going to do the exercise on plot 2. Here it goes. And I'm going to label it as the middle of the story because you want to know what your plot 2 is going to be about. The middle of the story. So I got that written out, and then I'm going to write, it's going to still be connected to what? It's going to be connected to the plot 1 of your story. So let's see. It's not going to be long on this one. Okay, for example, for plot 2, we're doing the middle setting of your story. And this is what I wrote in the contrary of plot 1. It's not very long. I didn't finish it, and we'll get to that, the reason why, in a few minutes. Plot 2, the middle of the story. She has over 7 of them. That's relating to the what? Her diary. She has 7 of them. And 7 of her diaries. Most are what? They're filled up because she's had so many through the years as a child. And she's wrote different contents, different things. Some might be stories. Some might be articles. Some might be something on an English paper. She kept notes of it. She done her own blueprints at certain times, maybe. But this was a short description of plot 2. She has over 7 of them diaries. Most are filled up. That answered that plot 2. She gave the introduction what the title was diaries. Plot 1, she wrote about it. I've kept many diaries growing up. I find them helpful. They keep me organized and balanced. She told the reason why she wrote about, I told her, well, not she, I told the reason why, excuse me, let me correct that. So I make errors sometimes on my video. Don't judge too hard. We all do. But the plot too, in the middle of the story, she relates to how many diaries she's had, and she admits that she's almost filled up all of them. So that kind of answers to plot one. That's the beginning of the story. She come up with a title. She's then told the beginning. Now she's telling the middle. She gave a middle introduction. How many diaries she has. And she told the simple description that they're almost filled up. Now we got to go to what? The next section. Plot 3. Plot 3 is going to be the ending of your story. If you don't have a title, a beginning, you're not going to have a good ending. It's going to confuse your reader. It's going to confuse you even. So you got to come up with plot 3. Write it out just like I'm doing. Answer everything I'm doing, but you got to do it a little different. You can't follow my sample. It's got to be in your own work, a new write, fresh from your mind. And I find this, the reason why I did this, want to do this little exercise, I find it very helpful. It helps your words come sharper, your flow comes sharper with titles, with your beginning, middle, and endings. It really helps with all 3 of those. Now I'm going to do myself, get my pen back out. I'm going to write my plot 3 out, the ending to this story, which is about a diary. So I'm going to write plot 3 out. This is just a little example, little exercise, very fun to do. And it's going to be short, just like the other ones. And the way I labeled this, I wrote it ending to the story instead of ending story. Ending to your story. All right, plot 3 is going to kind of answer to plot 2. And plot 2 connects to plot 1. And you know your title is going to connect with what story you're going to write. So I'm going to kind of put arrows at that. All right, here we go. Let's go over to the plot 3 now. I gave a description on what the story was from the beginning. I gave a middle description of plot 2. The plot 3 is the ending to the story, and this is what it says. I look over my pieces, and I am happy of what I worked so hard for. She liked everything she wrote. She felt satisfied about it, which is me. I felt satisfied with what I just wrote. That's the ending of it. You got your title, got the exercise warm-up question. You find what your title is. You label it, which is mine is diary. 2, you need your materials to list on what you need in order to complete it, to write it out, to do the story and everything, which was my pen and my journal. I showed you my pen. I'm kind of repeating a little bit. Doing this. I showed you my journal. That's listed. Plot 1. I have kept many diaries growing up. I find them helpful. They keep me organized and balanced. The plot 2 is the middle of this little short demonstration story. She has over 7 of them diaries. Most are filled up. It's kind of connecting. It might have threw it off some, but it's still relating to the beginning of this story. Plot 2 is still relating to plot 1. You understand? You're following me where I'm going with this? Now, plot 3 is the ending to my story. Very short. I look over at my pieces of my work, and I'm happy with what I wrote. I'm happy that what I wrote and worked so hard for. Period. Got some little grammar mess errors there, but we'll correct them later when we finally do it. Another real story. This is a sample. Now we're going to talk about the blueprint I drawn. It kind of gives you an idea to your plot 1, 2, and 3 to what we just did on this warm-up exercise. Don't laugh. Don't poke fun, because I'm not a drawer, not an artist in drawing. I'm an artist in being a writer, writing or doing videos like I'm doing now. I'm getting better. Okay, here's my blueprint. Don't laugh. Please don't laugh. Okay, once again, we talked about the title. Plot 1 should be here, but I kind of list it differently. I got plot 1 right here. This is your beginning. How's your story going to come about? How you going to bring that story from your title up here alive? How you going to draw your viewers in? If your title don't ring a bell, if your title don't fit to what your story is going to be, they're going to walk on and they're going to look at another book or someone else's work. You get what I mean? Plot 2 is your middle of the story. What's happening in the story? Is it exciting? Is it dull? Is these characters angry? Are they fulfilling their goals or dreams? You're telling the middle of it. Plot 3 is your end. What we just discussed a second ago. What is your ending going to say about plot 1 and 2 of the story? What's your ending going to say? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be interesting? Is it going to be sad? Is it going to be happy? Confusement? Are there going to be confusement at the end of your story? And then down here is where you're going to rough draft it. Once you complete everything, you're going to rough draft it. That's where you got to go back or get other people to look over your errors, find your do's and don'ts, your pros and cons, all that connects to rough draft. And then your final thing, this is the most important, most of all, you hope and pray that comes true, is your final draft. Edit it and then publishing it. Going to the world with your work. How do you think when you done got everything done up here and you on the last goal, your last bucket list, say, your goal is to finish this year, 2019. How are you gonna, do you think you're gonna finish it? Do you think it's gonna get heard? That's something else to take little notes at the end of your final draft and ask yourself questions. How you think it's going to turn out? So that's my blueprint. And I wanted to do the little short plot 1, 2, 3 question warm-up exercise so you can understand the blueprint. I did this first and just drew it out before the video. And then as we come on here, I come up with the idea to do the little quiz. So I hope you all anticipated. You got your pen, your pad or journal, whatever you want to write on, and you actually done this little exercise. Then when you get time, you got a spare time for yourself, you go and actually really do this. Don't just do the example, actually do it. You come up with your title, come up with the, after you come up with the title, come up with your plot 1, 2s, and 3s. You rough draft it. Get it all cleaned up and polished nice and pretty. And then you find someone that can publish your work at a reasonable price. Get the work out there. And fulfill your dreams. That's basically what this vlog video is about. Don't never give up. If it's into writing, stick to it. If it's drawing, stick to your drawing. There's a lot of challenging people that's in art. If it's pottery, making things out of clay, stick to it. Find ways to draw your fans out and to draw them more in and to keep them there. You don't want them to lose interest. If it's blogging, doing articles for, say, CoverGirl magazine, stick to it. The more exercises, the more pieces you do, the more professionally and better your work's going to improve. Well, I hope you like this video. If you like it, feel free to give me the thumbs up. Have any questions concerning the warm-up quiz and the blueprint of this video, feel free to comment below. And if you really truly love me and you really want to support me, hit that subscribe button and subscribe my channel. My goal is, again, I said on many videos, is to get up to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal this new year, 2019. I'm sure you all have many goals you want to reach, and I wish you the best of luck. March on, and God bless everyone. Have a great Wednesday. Bye.